Corey just shared some great story about his granddaddy, and we talked about we were talking about kidney donations and all that. There's so many great stories that we just don't. That's what we like to do here, Corey, is to get the stories out, let people know, that we are not only business people and what have you, but we have personal lives. So. But let's move on. Let's talk about small businesses.
Fantastic. Well, you tell the story better than anybody, and you've done it for so many years, and so we so appreciate the value that you bring to this community and the impact that you've made, and really sharing the important stories of our community through your lens, and it's been impactful. So we appreciate you.
Thank you, and I appreciate you. This is a day of appreciation, hugging, and since we got to say it since we can't touch.
It is Small Business Week too, right? So we're
Yeah,
celebrating small businesses this week.
exactly, and that's why I'm so excited about the Greater Washington Black Chamber, because that's what you all are all about. Bringing together small businesses, connecting them to opportunities, providing resources. Tell us more about what you all are doing there.
Absolutely.
And full disclosure, I am a member of the board. I have to say that, and that's
I have
to say that. But go ahead.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate that, and we appreciate your service. But really, Denise, this chapter was really born out of the energy that we recognized around the need here in the District of Columbia. Many people may not know this one statistic, and I'll rattle it off. In 1920, the Shaw neighborhood, made up of about 40 blocks, had 300 Black-owned businesses in that quarter. 300 Black-owned businesses, and that's a very important statistic and data point, because as we see the city growing and changing, we saw the critical need to address some of the systemic issues that have impacted Black-owned businesses in this city. We've lost lots of Black-owned businesses over the decades, and we want to do everything we can to preserve them. And so that's really the focus of our local group. But more largely and globally, we focus on driving access to capital for our Black-owned businesses. We want to make certain that our businesses have the resources that they need to be able to grow and expand. We also focus on, advocacy and networking, making certain that we're addressing the critical needs that sometimes land in our laps in the form of legislation or other policies that impact our Black-owned businesses' ability to thrive and grow. And then in so doing, we really focus on capacity building, really making certain that we drive technical assistance to make certain that our Black-owned businesses in the city and in the region have the tools that they need to be able to grow and take on new and bigger challenges.
This has been a really harsh period for small businesses and Black-owned businesses. Has the Chamber really assessed how the pandemic has affected Black-owned businesses over the past year and, let's say, 15 months?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, the old adage, right? When some have colds, other communities have pneumonia. And this pandemic has proven that to be a reality, and the systemic challenges that Black and brown communities have. And it's no different for Black businesses. I mean, we are disproportionately failing during this pandemic. We're disproportionately impacted in terms of the dire financial impact that it's had. And our community of Black-owned businesses are helping us to understand just how dire the state they're in. And so we're doing everything that we can. We're an affiliate of the national organization, the U.S. Black Chamber of Commerce, and this is sitting squarely on their desk. Ron Busby, who is the chair, or the president and CEO, is working with corporations large and small in the federal government to raise this issue, so that they know that there's a clarion call around this idea that we've got to get more support, more financial assistance, other resources to help our businesses to survive during this pandemic.
I think there's I think, but maybe you can clarify that. But there's a flip side of that coin too. During the pandemic, there has been a lot of growth, a lot of upstarts. We've told and we've seen stories all over of folks who were sitting at home thinking, they're looking at something that they used to play around with and then realize this is an opportunity to make some money. And so, and we have you seen growth in sort of, I guess, I don't know how would you classify them, but home-based businesses and independent startups among Black people. What have you seen in that regard?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're seeing some wonderful stories that come out of this pandemic, this moment for everybody to perhaps reassess. Some folks who were laid off and had the opportunity to take a look at their passion, had the time to do it. Maybe not all of the resources, but they certainly had the time. And so we're seeing wonderful startup businesses that have come out of it. One thing you probably know is that the fastest growing segment in our population of entrepreneurship is Black women. They're the fastest growing segment of the entrepreneurship portfolio in the United States. And so we've seen wonderful businesses grow, similar to I think there are two women that started then this was actually a few years back, but this is a great example of what we're seeing here. But they started a cheesecake business when they had the federal layoffs for some time, and folks were concerned about when their next check was going to come, and those brave women decided that they would go out and start their passion in the form of a business, and now it's thriving and doing very well. They're just over at the National Harbor, I'm told. They have a storefront now. So, but we've seen many other stories like that. We've seen other folks really invest in venture capital firms to try and put additional funds and resources to make those available to Black-owned businesses that are interested in starting up during this time. So, like most crises in our time, there's a silver lining somewhere. And while our business are really struggling, we are seeing some great stories of people who have braved this world of entrepreneurship and have decided to start businesses.
Well, I'm looking forward to the conversation I'm going to have in a little bit with these two women who started Guap Coin. I'm not sure what that is, Corey, but I'm going to learn today, and hopefully they'll become members of the Black Chamber as well and share it with all of your members. And on that note, I mean, a lot of these startups too have been millennials. You know, young
Absolutely.
people today are very entrepreneurial. They'll create. I've never seen T-shirts that people will spend $200 and $300 for, but they've got companies, businesses, storefronts, and they're selling all kinds of items that we used to, at least I did, as a kid. Boy, I could buy 10 T-shirts for $10. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, but what would make the Greater Washington Black Chamber, a great resource for millennial entrepreneurs?
Absolutely. So thank you. Yeah, we've got some great businesses in the District of Columbia, and you mentioned the T-shirt business, and they're much more than that. That this is a group called the Museum. They're on Rhode Island Avenue, and they are doing really, really well. Their slogan is sort of where fashion and art come together, and so they have some very fashionable gear and wear that you can go and purchase. But they seem to be doing really well during this pandemic. When I drive by it from time to time, I live in a neighborhood, I see people in a line there to support the local business. So we certainly appreciate that. And they're Black owned. And so that's great. So let me tell you why people want to come into the Black Chamber of Commerce, right? Because we are really facilitators of information. We work very closely with the Department of Small and Local Business, DSLBD. We work very closely with the Mayor's Office of African American Affairs, and so we bring together people, our members, so that they can get access to those leaders and those agencies, and private corporations, to help them understand how they can do business with the district and how they can become certified business enterprises to access government contracts, but also because we are really bringing together an audience of people that are concerned about this issue, about the vibrancy of Black business, not just in the District of Columbia, but across this nation. And as you well know, we're in this time in our life where there's lots of conversation about sort of diversity, inclusion, and equity, right? And so it's important for us to be stood up in this moment so that we can help to facilitate the interests on the part of the government and the private sector to bring resources to our community so that we can grow and create generational wealth. That's really the end goal, right? Anybody who starts business, um, I was once told, well, this is a quote actually from C.K. Prahalad, and that quote says, "The business of business is business." Right? So you're in business because you're doing business, and you want to earn business, and you want to earn a living, and hopefully create some generational wealth. And we want to be facilitators of that work here in the District of Columbia.
Well, I was getting ready to ask you for a quote or some words of wisdom or something, but you gave it to us already. So that's fantastic. So I really do want to thank you because we couldn't let this week go by without having you on and the Black Chamber sort of representing what small business is all about. And small businesses grow into big businesses, and that's the other part that we want. But there's nothing wrong with being small, right?
Absolutely. Despise not small beginnings is what I'm reminded about. And so, yeah, so join the chamber. www.dwbcc.org. You can go to our website, sign up, become a member, help us to be stronger in numbers, help us to be stronger in impact. I think the future is bright if we do this the right way and make the right kinds of investments.
Well, I don't want to let the cat out of the bag yet, because I know that you're working on a project with a local company. And so we want to get you back on, to make a major announcement that the chamber is going to have about how it's going to really connect small businesses to big opportunities. So I want to leave it there. I want people to come back and say, whoa, what's Corey Griffen going to say next time?
Well, thank you.
I think it's big news, and once you're ready to let the cat out of the bag, I'll be there to to open it, and to share it with our viewers. So thanks so much.
I appreciate you. Thank you, Denise.
Okie doke.